Season 2, The Witch's War, how badass is this going to get for this season?
Yeah, as badass as it is possible to get. I mean, Lucy Lawless.
I know, but last season seemed pretty intense as it was between all the witches.
Yeah.
As you saw from the finale, which was kind of a culmination of intensifying and diversifying storylines, that's where we start. And that's how it goes this season. Last season was suspenseful, scary, sexy, but more contained. It's exploded this year. It's a larger canvas. There are new characters coming to the show. It's incredible. It's exciting to do.
And look, there was a witch war on in season 1, but it was mostly a war between witches and Puritans. To some extent, they fundamentally won that war in an unexpected way, in the most unexpected way possible, by getting Increase Mather to actually be slaughtered by his own son as the final victim of the Grand Rite. This season, the witch war is much more an inter-witch war, as it were. It's about, okay, what if there were different tribes and ethnicities and peoples of witches, just like there were of the initial settlers that came here? Just as there was a war brewing between the French and the English and the Germans and the Spanish for who would colonize this country, what if that was equally true for the witches? That just because they're all witches doesn't mean they're all on the same side, any more than just because all of those others are not witches, that they were on the same side.
Now that the witches have control of Salem, and they do, who will rule? That's one way to think about this year.
Absolutely.
Well, is that going to mean Cotton's going to rise up, fill the kind of the legacy of his father, or is somebody else going to step into that?
Well, it's one of the big questions. Look, it's always great when the character's got an incredibly powerful father like that. Of what is he going to become his father? Is he going to become the opposite of his father? That's a legacy he's fighting with this entire episode. Increase, both as an idea and as a reality, is always present in season 2 also.
We also heard whispers there might be some new villain called Hawthorne. What can you share about him?
Oh, it's a real guy.
Yeah, look,
it's true.
It's true, and he's also based, like many of our characters, Hawthorne, who's played by Jeremy Crutchley, who's a fantastic actor. We really got lucky with that. Like many of our main characters, Hawthorne is also based on a historical figure, Judge Hawthorne, who was in fact kind of the chief judge in the middle part of the trials, and we'll get back to that hopefully next season. This is kind of his origin story, as it were. He brings a lot to it, not least of which is we want to constantly remind people just how screwed up the Puritans actually were. In part so that they can really understand the motivations for the witches and for all the dissenters and all those who want a different kind of world. It's like you kind of got to have somebody there who really stands up and represents what Puritan orthodoxy was like.
He's also one of Mary's enemies. And it seems like everybody in town is good. In fact, to get a little more specific, he sees right through this George Sibley shit.
Wow.
He calls her on it right away.
He calls her on it
in
in episode 1 in full public view of the meeting house, and he intends to knock her off her pedestal.
And like a lot of guys of that time, of course, his view of women is as, probably less valuable than a good horse, And he comes right out and tells us quite early in episode 1 that all these terrible things that are happening to Salem are probably God's punishment for the horrible mistake of allowing a woman on top. And that sort of sets things off.